All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Be Iconic Conversations. My name is Darren Walker. So excited to be on here with all of you right now. I see you, Instagram. Um, see you, Facebook. Actually, Facebook, give me a second. I'm going to come over here on my phone and go to my Facebook page here, and I'm going to share this live right now over to my regular page. Okay. I'm going to share it over to you guys to make sure that you guys are all good. All right. Darren Walker. Perfect. So welcome. What's going on, IG? We see you. Hey, drop an L if you're watching live or if you're watching replay, wherever you're tuning in from. Tonight, we want to absolutely just thank you so much for being on. This is Be Iconic Conversations. I'm your host tonight, Darren Walker, and we have an iconic evening tonight. I've got a special guest that's going to be coming on here shortly who has just a fantastic, wonderful, next level story. And I can't wait to share it with all of you. So lock in. I promise you will absolutely love tonight. This is going to be a vulnerable testimony tonight with this young woman. And also, I will be really, really excited and blessed to share with all of you some perspective and aspects of how my wife and I were able to come from a background and turn some hard situations in business and life into some successful online businesses and be able to change the game. So again, welcome to Be Iconic Conversations. I'm not sure what episode number this is. Honestly, I know we've been doing this now for about 2 years and it's been a blessing. So what we're going to do also, though, is we're going to give away some prizes. If you're sharing this into your stories, if you're sharing it into your timelines, wherever you're tuning in from, let us know and DM me, okay? Be Iconic Conversations or Be Iconic or Iconic, something like that. And I have a special gift for you. So if you're on this and you share it with someone in your stories or your timeline or your social media, make sure you DM me. Someone last week was like, hey, I didn't get my gift. I was like, hey, you didn't DM me if you shared it. Sometimes I don't see it. There's people streaming from all over. Okay. So y'all, first and foremost, God bless you guys. So grateful and so thankful that you're on tonight. Again, this is Be Iconic Conversations. And here on Be Iconic Conversations, what we do is we believe everyone has a story. We teach people how to make income by being themselves for a living, by impacting the people they were called to impact through their stories, through their gifting, and through their testimony. And the reason why we started this is because as an entrepreneur, someone been building businesses for quite some time now, being on stages, learning from some great mentors, being able to travel the world, started living in my mom's basement, though. I had negative 365 in my account when someone introduced me to my first networking company. Didn't realize that I can do anything. Went to school, got good grades, got a good job until, I went to my first personal development event, and I realized that there were people like me from all over the world that were learning how to earn income by building a business and helping other people. Well, I was blown away by that, fell in love with personal development, fell in love with learning how to grow, and really fell in love with helping other people grow on a really high level. That's what it was. It always has been about how can we help other people grow? And there was ups and downs and obstacles. In fact, in 2020, that business that I had started had went out of business, and myself and a bunch of friends were kind of moved into a new company, and we still learned a lot. And I still love the industry of networking. But in that transition, I learned so much. I realized that the information that I had learned from building networks was valuable. And I learned that people wanted to know how they can have a passion side hustle, turn their giftings, turn their story into income. And I get it. There is so much online these days. There's so many people teaching and different things. And I respect that, people getting where they fit in. I don't know. We just really decided that we believe people have a story, and we believe people can make income, and we believe we can help people do it on a high level. So my wife and I, we launched a company called BEICONIC World, and we launched, first it was an 8-week course that grew into a 6 to 12 month mastermind, and we're heading into 3 years coming up here in September, and it's been a blessing. We've been able to help tons, honestly, hundreds of people grow, turn their stories into income, find their passions, launch podcasts, launch masterclasses, teach people one-on-one, done for you services, book tours, virtual tours, all different things, because we grabbed the skill set to help people win on a high level. Now, the reason why I'm on here on this podcast, though, is not because we've been able to do all those things. It's more so because what I've come to find over the years is that there is successful, driven people. Maybe you're listening to me right now. You're a single mom. You're a single dad. You're a person that's working a 9 to 5. You love your job. Maybe you can't stand it. And you know that there's another level in you. You know that there's something more. Maybe you're retired. Could be. I've worked with people that are retired. I've worked with people all different ages that are striving, that are helping people win, that have big hearts, that have big goals, big dreams, and that are helping people. But some people really don't believe. I've seen it because it was once me. Some people really don't believe that someone would maybe pay you for your skill set, that you can take all the ideas that you have in your head, and maybe that you have jotted down here, jotted down there, written a note or a text to yourself, those short moments of inspiration. Don't believe that you could learn how to actually get a plan, an end-to-end strategy, and put that on paper and make it into something physical that someone would want to purchase from you. A simple question like this: what do you do at your absolute best with the least amount of effort? Another simple question: what do people naturally come to you for help? Here's another question, real quick. Watch this. If I was to put you, or the best version of you and your talents and skill sets, into a bottle and put you on the shelf at Amazon, what would people be purchasing? Let me ask you, I want you to put this in the chat. Is there something about you that you believe that if you had the right coaching, the right leadership, that someone helping you and a community helping you, that you could turn something that you're really good at, or something that you've done in the past, that you could turn that thing, whatever it is, into a business and someone would actually pay you for it? What's your goal to make in a year? Not in how you make money at work right now, but in a business. If you could make a certain type of income in a year, monthly, what would it be? Would it be $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, $20,000 a month? I'm not here to convince you that you can do that, because a man or a woman convinced against their wills of the same opinion still. We understand that. But we are here to share some testimonies and stories of average people like me and you that made a decision despite different circumstances and situations in their life, and have been able to massively grow their lives, their business, their confidence, their structure, how they win, okay? How they strive and do things. Some people have left their jobs, brought in a supplemental income. If you want to learn how to do something like that, or if you just want to have some fun with us tonight, put "that's me" in the chat, in the comments. I'm watching. I want to shout you out as we see you do that. Okay. And so here's what we're going to do. I'm learning that people learn best in great group settings, and when they're around people that are winning and helping them strive to win. Okay, so what I want to let you know right now is we've got a couple iconic things in the pipeline. Can you guys believe that it's already March 5th right now if you're watching live? And at the end of March and the beginning of April will be the end of quarter 1. Weren't we just saying Happy New Year? We literally were just doing that, and all of a sudden now it's about to be the fourth quarter. From the end of the first quarter. After the end of the first quarter, we're going to go now into the second quarter. And we're going to go to we call the half new year, July 1st. Everyone's else is going to celebrate the 4th of July. And if you celebrate that or Juneteenth, whatever you celebrate, God bless you, right? But it's going to be the new half year. And then there's only 2 quarters left. Why am I bringing that up? Then we go into the 3rd quarter, which is around September through October. And then we've got the holidays when Mariah Carey starts singing us all the way through at the end of the year. And here's why I'm bringing that up. Most people from right now, mark my words, are getting ready. They already are reliving 2023 and 2024. And they're going to relive 2024 and 2025 because they don't have a strategy, a plan. They haven't had the vision to make a decision to change the game. They have the goals, they have the dreams, they have the vision, but they don't have the plan. Tonight, we're going to show you how you can do that. Tonight, we're going to show you how you can implement something to change the game. And as we do that, one of the things I want to let you know as we begin tonight is that I'm actually doing, myself and our community, a 2-day virtual event on April 8th and April 9th, where we're actually for 2 days for completely free from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing a 2-day virtual event showing people how to turn their iconic, unique story into a 6- and 7-figure business. Listen, we just did our last one, April 15th and 16th, and it was a knockout. Over 100 people registered. It was out of the world. Had one of my close friends. She was on the podcast last week, Jessie Bowden, on that one. But I want to let you guys know, you're the first to hear it outside of our community, that our special guests for the event in April 8th and April 9th of 2 of my closest friends in Dave and Yvette Uloa. They are Unshakable Kingdom founders, CEOs of the Warriors and Queens. These people are powerhouses, networkers, travels. I'm just telling you, travelers. They've been trained by Tony Robbins. They've been trained by some of the top leaders all over the world. They are top leaders. And not only are we going to have Yvette, we're also going to have Dave. So we're going to have special guests, Dave and Yvette Uloa. So what we're going to do is right now, if you're on my Instagram, in the bio is the link for you to register. Now, if you register tonight, DM me registered, and actually put registered in the chat if you registered. But if you register tonight, DM me register. I'm going to give you a special gift. Okay, I just want to let you know, but the seats are going to be limited. This event is going to be out of this world. We're going to be doing workshop style, step by step for this event, teaching people how to turn their story into income. You absolutely don't want to miss it. All right, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you right now. You heard it here. We're going to help you with the steps how to turn the corner into the rest of 2024 and make sure that through the summer you are taking things to the next level. So if you registered, go ahead and put register, whether you're on Facebook or Instagram. Davia, our iconic assistant, is going to be putting that in the chat for you to be able to do that. It's also in the bios of my Instagram, and I'll be putting that on a post later on. All right. So let's get into this. So grateful to be able to bring on a great friend of mine now. My wife and I been really getting to know this young woman over the last 2 years or so. This is a powerhouse story. Now I'm going to share just a little bit, because she's going to share it. You know, when I first met Bren Harris, didn't know much about her. Lives in Oklahoma, powerful woman, powerful story. Just let me know that she had a real desire to help people win and to help warrior moms. She calls them, like, you know, together we're better, she says. And she helps warrior moms, women that aren't people to step down, aren't people to step back, are human beings that want to take their life to the next level. And I met her and I really liked her message. I really liked her approach. I really liked her come from. And but I started to get to know her, and she shared a part of her story that blew me away. It was about her son, her family, and some of the aspects that she had to go through. Now, before I bring Bren on here, okay, what I want you to know, I want you to understand why this is so important that we do Be Iconic Conversations. Because here on this podcast, we really want to have the conversation. We want to sit down and have a conversation about what's actually going on in somebody's life right now. And as it's going on, how does some people that have some hardship, maybe you right now are having a hard time in your life with your faith, your health, your confidence. Check me out. I know that it's Tuesday night and there's so many different things people can be doing online. So I really appreciate you. And I promise you, stick to the end. We're going to be dropping some jewels here. Maybe you have a goal. Maybe you have a business that's locked inside you, a vision that's locked inside you. You're not sure how to do it. You're not sure if you can. Maybe you're having a vision that you see other people do it, but you don't believe it. You're distracted by things. Could be, addiction to distractions. I'm not sure. But we want to show you here in Be Iconic Conversations, one, that all of us have and do have hardships. And two, if we can, why not you? And this is one of those stories. This young woman that's going to come on. I've seen her overcome so much, and she's just at the beginning of her entrepreneurial story and testimony, but her personal life and what she's been through is absolutely iconic. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are, icons, do me a favor and let's put our likes, our hearts together and help us bring on the warrior mom herself. Come on, y'all, blow it up. Icon, warrior mom, Bren Harris. Can you hear us? Can you see us, Bren?
I can. Thank you so much, Darren, and thank you for following your calling and giving us an opportunity to share our story.
Oh, it's absolutely so much fun. I can't wait to hear tonight's story. We're just going to hop right into it. People are excited. I know that I'm excited as well. People are welcoming you, and it's just amazing to be on here with you. So welcome again, Bren, to Be Iconic Conversations, where we help people earn income by being themselves for a living. Bren, you have a testimony. It's a really, really powerful one. We're excited to be able to talk to you about it. So what we do here in Be Iconic Conversations, we just share that story. You know, it's not scripted. I sent you a couple of questions. We're really going to ask the Holy Spirit to lead me and have you share your story about how you've gone through some things, but how you got to where you are and where you're going. So at the beginning, we all ask everybody to kind of share this one thing as we ask, who is Bren Harris?
Oh, that's a great question. I am Bren Harris, and I founded Warrior Moms by Bren when my son was medically injured at 22 months of age. And we have walked through hell in the last decade. Now we walk through it like we own the place. And we know that our story matters and your story matters. And it is so important that we do not keep that locked inside.
I love that. Our story matters and your story matters. Walk through hell and now we own the place. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the confidence. And so, I'm going to ask you to take it back a little bit, start from the beginning, give us a little bit of background about who you are and where you come from. And then we'll want to talk about, this aspect of talking about having a vaccine injured child and what that looks like and how you've navigated that landscape. And then, what it is that you're doing or what you've done to overcome some of the hardships you've overcome to continue to strive and help lead other people as well. So bring us back a little bit and tell us who you are, where you come from.
I am originally from Oklahoma and grew up here and then traveled all over the world. And we came back here because grandparents are here just before my son turned 1 year old. And what we understand is that, success doesn't happen in a vacuum. And oh my gosh, this is really hard. We love that this is not a story I would have ever chosen at this point as how far we've come. It's not a story I would ever change. And Darren often tells us, you're not being picked on, you've been picked. And I know that there are other moms in this world that are going through the same thing. And I did have a career, not an entrepreneurial career, but a career, and then decided to have children. And that was really hard to know that I felt like I was healthy. I was in a great place. My son was thriving. And boom, at 22 months, everything changed.
So walk us through that. Well, first of all, what was the career you were doing?
I was an independent musician touring 200 days a week.
Get out of here. What were you doing? Singing, writing, what?
All of it, yes. And it was a great time and a great season, and focused more on writing when I decided to start a family. And I love that I get to continue to feed that creative side while learning what we're learning in the BEICONIC world.
So do you play piano, guitar? What do you do?
Piano and guitar, yes.
What?
We're gonna have to put together a band.
Get out of here. I've been working with 2 years. I didn't know you played. I didn't know you played piano or guitar.
Yeah, and
200.
it's really my love. Yeah.
So what drove you to want to be a musician? That I'm a musician, so that fires me up. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that. So we got to dig into that a little bit.
Well, our family inherited one of those, in the old Western movies, a saloon type tall upright piano.
Yeah.
And this family decided I was the one to learn it. And it was super easy. I started really young.
Hmm.
And I find that it's a great balance. I mean, a lot of people talk about mental health now. And I was always the musician in the family. So that was natural for me. As I went to college and started a corporate career, that became more important because, balance.
Yeah. Wow. So did you you put songs out there? Are there songs of you out there in the world
Yes.
right now?
Yes.
Wow, I might have to look those up. So I'm really intrigued by the musician thing. Okay. So you went to school and
Mhm.
decided to tour the world.
Uh-huh.
Where'd you go? All over?
I went from the East Coast to the West Coast, and then we lived 3 years in Japan and launched a few projects there, and came back to the States to be near grandparents when my son was almost a year old.
Okay. So your son, Zach,
Uh-huh.
is almost a year old now. So we decided to not do music as much anymore.
Well, we serve at our local church, much like you do,
Hmm.
and focus more on songwriting.
Okay. But in the beginning, when you decided to move back to Oklahoma,
Mhm.
you weren't able to continue to travel in your music. So how'd you do that?
Serving worship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. And so now when you're doing that, you've decided to not tour as much. So you have your son, you're back in Oklahoma.
Mhm.
So everything is going fine. Everything's going great.
For about a year, everything was fine.
Okay.
And I'm the one that took him to his appointment, and he received the vaccine that started our journey. And I am not an anti vaxxer, I am a pro parent choice.
Hmm.
And that's a very important distinction. I know that vaccines serve a choice and serve a purpose if you're going to mission trips in Africa. I do know that our story, I would have never dreamt that this would happen to us.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, it's interesting on BI kind of conversations. We keep it 100, but I'm be honest. I've had a lot of conversations with tons of successful people, from people being adopted, losing loved ones, so many different
Mhm.
things. You'd be our first person actually covering a vaccine injured person, let alone a child. So I just want to talk about it really quick to the community. Listen, I know that this is a topic that can ruffle some feathers. We're going to share it and share it 100% here. Bren's going to share her truth, and I'm going to ask questions on here with her, and you know what I mean? So hopefully you don't get offended, but that's why we do this podcast, not to offend you, but to share our truths and let people know how we've continued to do things to win on a high level. So Bren, we appreciate you sharing this aspect. I mean, my wife and I have 4 kids, and by the grace of God, it's interesting. I'm going to tell you that right now, before I even knew your story, we have not vaccinated any of our children. We just didn't. And I know there's people out there that do and have vaccinated their children. But let's get back to this, because I really am interested in knowing this story from your lens. So Zach's one, and you just took him to it. He wasn't sick at all. If
No.
from your standpoint, healthy baby, doing
Oh,
all.
And the score when he was born was fabulous. I forget what it's called, APGAR or something. And he's developing, crawling early, walking early, doing great. And go for the visit, and we do the vaccine round. And what we later learned, I'm not trying to jump ahead, just to bring this into on the logical side, we later learned he has a genetic marker. And I won't even pretend to understand it. It's MTHFR, and it is a very long medical term. We just affectionately refer to it as the mother trucker gene. He got one from dad and one from mom, so he got the double whammy. And the basic premise, just in regular people terms, is that he has an inability to take folic acid, which is man-made, and convert it to folate. And folate is very important in brain development as babies are growing. And what we have learned is that they can't detox a lot of things. And I've become kind of a closet doctor mom, and just learning and growing. I had no idea this would be my story ever. I didn't choose it. I'm not one, I'm pretty much a lover at heart. You mess with my kid, I'm a warrior mom. And that's where it all comes from.
Noted.
Yes.
So, he got the mother trucker from mom and dad. But so basically, I know there's different percentages of a child that goes and something happens and has that gene or not. So basically, because he has this gene, he goes to get what many would probably, especially at that time, because he's how old is he now? We'll get to that, but how old is he
Almost
now?
2. Oh, he's 15 now.
He's 15 now, but he was almost 2, so he was 1. And so his body, long story short, doesn't produce what needs to be produced to be able to break down the vaccine in a way so it wouldn't injure him like it did.
Right.
And do we believe doctors know this information and knew it then?
Not many. Not many. And we have since found an autism doctor, and who's very knowledgeable, and has since shared with us that children with this genetic marker can receive, there are peer-reviewed studies, can receive a huge dose of vitamin A before the vaccine rounds, and it mitigates this effect.
Is there any way to test, like, should a test have been done first to see if he was, and should that have happened? Or,
well, genetic testing wasn't really in the mainstream like it is now, but it's a simple cotton swab in the mouth, and they're very affordable online. And I encourage anyone that has a new child to do that. And they're all over. You can find them anywhere.
If they're considering vaccinating to get that,
Yeah.
What's that test called?
It's just genetic testing. They're all over the place.
And what are they looking for?
We're just looking for genetic markers, and MTHFR is now more in the mainstream. 50% of the population has the one marker, and it can lead to a number of things. High homocysteine, which means you don't absorb vitamin B accurately or efficiently. And I find it fascinating, to tell you the truth. I've gone from, let's tour the world and do music, to, okay, let me see the scientific peer-reviewed studies. And it's quite the curveball. But then, as you've mentioned, we're not being picked on. We've been picked.
Well, I mean, we're gonna get to it, but the fact that you are, and I know you genuinely this happy, genuinely sharing this information to help people. I know people are hopping on right now. You might kind of be hopping in halfway, and here's this blonde lady talking about getting a cotton swab. Like, whoa, what's going on? Well, the conversation, if you don't think it's iconic right now, it's gonna get iconic, because Bren has a young son, her and her husband, that was vaccine medically injured and completely altered his, which is completely altering your life. So, Bren, I want to start asking, I don't want to say some hard questions, but I think they're pretty difficult, if you're cool with that, because Is
Sure.
that cool? Because now we're
Oh, yeah.
gonna go into so he gets the routine vaccination, and
Mhm.
then how long until we realize something's different and it's gonna be different forever?
Um, the symptoms presented fairly quickly, but they were disguised as ear infections, and he blew both eardrums from the ear infections and started having hives and started screaming and beating his head against a wall, this young child. And we took him to the doctor, took him to the doctor. This is a child that had not been sick a day in his life. I did nurse him up until that, probably about 20 months. And I find it fascinating that the body knows what to do. And when he didn't have my immunity, and he was getting the huge round of vaccines, and he has this genetic marker that we're unaware of, it's really interesting to see. It's just normal for kids to have ear surgery now. It's just normal for kids to have, all of this eczema and asthma and ADHD and all these things. And if we read the inserts, my crunchy mamas know what I'm talking about. Us granola lovers, if we read the vaccine inserts, these are all side effects of vaccines. And when we were growing up, it was more like 1 in 30,000 was diagnosed with autism. Boys are now 1 in 36.
Wow.
Yeah, one
One
in
in
36.
36
Mm-hmm.
kids.
And that, I mean, births in 2023 were 2.3 million. I mean, we take, half of those are boys, then we take 30% of that or 36% of that. We're talking about a lot of diagnosis. And it's become so commonplace that schools are now required to have sort of an entire department devoted to this. This is a whole new level of education and individualizing those plans.
Wow. Okay. So now okay. So now the eardrums blow, you're bringing him to the doctor. So when does it start to go from okay, he's just not sick, something has
Uh-huh.
happened? How long did it take for you to correlate that this just wasn't my son is sick, like this vaccination has done something to my son? And when that happened, what's this life, what's it like in life? Like what was this experience? What was going on for you?
What I'm learning is that in retrospect, the rapid health decline, him not being able to hear, not speaking at 2, he just made noises. That's what put us on the path of we need someone to look at this, a specialist. And then we wait on insurance. I know if you've ever dealt with medical insurance, it can be a real pain. And getting the referral and getting to the surgeon, they had to reconstruct his ears. So this all happened within about 6 months. Reconstruct his ears, put the tubes in, and when he came out of the surgery, he looked at me and he goes, "Why, Mama?" And that was the first sentence I'd really heard. And he was probably 2.5, almost 3. And you're in the thick of it, having 4 children, you're in the thick of it and you're doing the best you can. You're operating on no sleep. You're moving heaven and earth to find out what's wrong with your child. And for me, it was really hard because I had never experienced anything like this. And the mom knows or the parent knows. Trust that intuition. That's probably my biggest, let's do a banner. Trust your intuition.
And so you find the specialists, you start doing research, you figure out this is vaccine injured related. I'm just asking, I mean, like, is there anger? Like, like, did they say, yeah, that's correct? Did they deny that? Like, what was this like?
It took us several years to get there. Doctors can be sanctioned or fined for saying vaccine injured. And there's The my limited understanding, 1986, because so many big awards were given by juries to parents in the 80s of vaccine injured children, the president at the time passed a bill that we can't sue the manufacturers. And that's when the federal government has and it's INVIC, I think is how you say it. It's their slush fund. And as of yesterday, they've awarded $5.1 billion for vaccine injuries.
Really? So wait. Let's because you said like the last 7 sentences you said are so important, and I'm guaranteeing a lot of them went over a lot of people's heads. Some of them did to me too, but like I'm just telling you, my wife specifically, like before we had our first child, like done research and all this stuff. So first of all, if I'm getting this right, if a child is injured by a vaccine, the government has basically protected these companies that they can't be touched or sued.
Correct. And in lieu of that, they have set up a federal slush fund for vaccine.
Which is what? What's a federal slush fund?
They provide compensation to individuals injured by vaccines. And as of yesterday, they have awarded $5.1 billion in vaccine injury.
Basically, you can't sue a doctor or a vaccine company if your child is injured or if a person is injured from the vaccine. But if you can prove it, the government is paying people out.
Right.
Which basically proves that the company actually did it, but they still can't get in trouble.
Right. Correct.
So how did that affect you? I'm not saying we don't need to know if you were paid for that or whatever, I think that's personal, but you share whatever you want. But like, how did that affect you in your journey?
I felt betrayed. I was raised to believe in doctors, to trust medical personnel, and to understand that they were giving us the best informed knowledge possible. And they're not receiving the most informed possible.
Yeah.
And the money follow the money, we've all heard that, is very real. People are making billions off of this. Now, I am not an anti-vaxxer. I'm a pro-parent choicer. And what I mean by that is, hey, do the genetic testing, know where your child stands in risk factor, and know what's right for you. Move forward a few years, it was hard for us to even get into a school here in Oklahoma because of this. And we had to do our own research. We had to hire an attorney, and we kept them on retainer for years to just champion our rights for him to go to school unvaccinated from about the age of probably 7 or 8. And that's where we just said no more.
Wait, hold on a second. Go to school unvaccinated, meaning they wanted you to vaccinate your child again, even though there's proof that he's been injured by vaccines?
Correct. And that comes down from the top, get in line, stay in line. We've all seen how public school operates. Not that it's all bad. There are amazing teachers there. And they're saying, well, you can't, we don't have your vaccine record. Yes, you do. And our state, as do most states in the US, have an exemption form. And we have found that, hey, we're not trying to make trouble here. We're doing what's right for our son. And so for me, again, going back to, I'm a lover at heart, but you mess with my kid, it's all over. And I'm not saying that to be a drama mom. I'm saying that to be a pro-parent choice warrior mom.
Mm. So you've had to fight for schooling for your kid?
Absolutely. Tooth and nail.
Still up till now, because he's 15.
Well, we have decided to go with a public charter school, and that has been the best decision ever for us. We do online schooling as well as meeting with our peers twice a week. Gotcha. And that has been an amazing, amazing option for us. It doesn't work for everyone, but it's an amazing option for us.
Wow. Well, there's so many other questions that I have, but I wanna really kind of transition just a little bit because you went from the corporate world. What were you
Mhm.
doing in the corporate world?
Marketing. I had half the United States as my territory, so I lived in airports and hotels.
To your marketing, and did your transition from the corporate world to warrior mom entrepreneur happen because of the state of the family, because of the vaccine, or was this just a passion decision to be able to become an entrepreneur because you wanted to?
What I realized, and with diagnosis, boys 1 in 36, there are so many moms that cannot, are completely unable to hold a W-2 job, 9 to 5 in the office, because we're the mom taxi to therapies and doctor's appointments, as well as extracurricular. And I realized that once we started school, this would not be an option. And I started talking to other moms and found resources regionally and nationally. And I'm learning as I've been doing the Warrior Mom campaign for the last 5 years. There are a lot of people beginning to talk about this issue.
Wow.
And that was kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not telling anyone else how to do this. I'm sharing my story.
No, and it's a profound story. So let me ask you this. I got a question that came to my heart. What does it mean to be a warrior mom? And who are you talking to?
Warrior mom. A warrior is winning, aligned, radical and radiant, intelligent, optimistic, rule breaker. We were told to follow the vaccine schedule. We were told to don't ask questions. We're told to sign a form at the doctor's office if we refuse vaccines, all of which is against the law. And we're battling insurance companies for the therapies that our children need. And
Wow.
that's where that comes from. I understand that this makes people uncomfortable, and that's okay. Until you've walked a mile in our shoes, please receive.
Wow. Wow. That is iconic. I didn't even know Warrior was an acronym. That is cool. I didn't even know that. You're gonna have to say that again slowly. Okay.
You ready?
But okay, so fast forward a little bit. By the way, your demeanor and like I just feel like I would be just outraged. I'd need all of the Holy Spirit. Like and I know you've had your seasons. I've talked to you, but
Mhm.
still, and this is not a face like
No.
I don't want to say you've overcome, but you've just come so far. And Zach is awesome, by the way. Like if you go to Bren's social media, he's in posts on Instagram, on Facebook. Like I just love seeing him and hearing him. And you're interacting with him and how you love your son. And so let's talk now about your entrepreneurship journey, because I know a lot of people want to hear about that. Like I've been blessed myself in our community, Be Iconic World and Iconic Attraction Mastermind, to watch you grow in a lot of areas. So I want to ask you some questions based on that. But obviously, so what we're finding out now is that you decided to become an entrepreneur because you had
Mhm.
doctors, all these different things to do to get that you're fighting for to get the aid for your son who's vaccine injured. But also, I think you have a desire to impact people and just
Yes.
be your own boss as well. You want to talk about that?
Absolutely. This is truly my calling. I love meeting people where they are, especially entrepreneur moms, letting them know that they're seen and heard and valuable,
Mhm.
and that we are here to reclaim our freedom, clarity, and power. A lot of times, moms are doing for others day in and day out instead of having that system in place where we're taking care of our own gifts.
Yeah.
And to me, that's really critical.
Mhm.
We are here for such a time as this, and we are here to change lives. We don't need to change minds. We're here to change lives.
Hey, y'all, while you're on right now, by the way, if you're getting any value, if you're having a breakthrough at any kind, or you can relate, put value break through or relate. This is information Bren's taking time away from her family to be on here. And I just think that this is super important, to just hear in general, to someone share a story like this and impacting other people on the next level. So we really, really appreciate your engaging. You guys are doing amazing, by the way. So Bren, like when I met you, I didn't know any of this. Just like we're doing the 2-day event that's coming up in April. You were referred by one of our really, really great friends, John and Nancy.
Uh-huh.
By the way, John and Nancy, I think they were on Instagram. We just love these amazing couple. And there's a lot of people we're blessed by and to be partners with. And so you come to the event, you become a part of our first course, which is what's called Icons Transformation Camp, 8-week course. You came to another event and became a part of our mastermind called Iconic Mastermind. So I just want to kind of ask you now, like, this isn't a plug for the mastermind. Truthfully, honestly, watching you grow and navigate all these things with Zach, first I started to kind of wonder, and I didn't know some of the aspects of this story, but some of it I know. But tell us what life was like before, applying some of the processes that you've learned from being a part of Iconic Attraction Mastermind. Seriously, being a part of our community and our mastermind, because there are people out there right now that don't believe that they need training, don't believe that they need to be around a group. I'm talking about the 2-day event. I get it. Yeah. You're not going to register, and that's fine. But you did. And even with your life circumstances, what was life like before you joined our mastermind?
I was a hot mess. I did not have a purpose. I was not centered. I was not aligned. I was looking for external help, someone validate how I feel with the anger and betrayal that I'm experiencing with my son's injury. I can't hold a job because I need to do all of this. And I didn't have a path toward goal. I didn't have a system. I didn't have that inner knowing and that Christ-like confidence because I had never learned it. Now, fast forward, we've been working together about 1.5 years, and night and day. I know why I'm here, and I know what my purpose is. And I know no matter what's going on in my life, the system trumps everything because the system is in place.
So what are some tangible things that have changed for you in your life, you would say?
I gained the confidence to get help with my health. Moms are known for putting everyone's needs above their own. And I had really suffered a health scare. And that's, to me, that's first and foremost. I'm a firm believer health is our wealth, because if we don't have the health to help others, then we're no good to anybody.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge one.
Yeah. So some of the things that I've seen you do as well, you got real strategic and real serious about your time, your scheduling, some of the patterns that you've broken, and how you are effectively now standing guard of the time that you have. What, as being a vaccine, a mom to a vaccinated child, a warrior mom, an entrepreneur, and just a woman that has things to do, how's implementing some of the things we've taught you in the mastermind pertaining to your scheduling, your time, affected you differently now?
Oh, wow. Transformational. I'll give one example. I know we're abundance mindset. You teach this in your 2-day virtual, the 3-in-1 day. I know that I have 3 days in one, and that I have specific objectives, the first 8 hours, the second 8 hours, the third 8 hours. And I know that no matter what's happening, just for an example, the last few months we've signed a family member up or integrated them, transitioned them into hospice. Another family member has been in ICU. My son has had some sort of growing pains, figuring out who he is as a nonverbal teen, and learning that this is just life and that we have that set time block. My first 8 hours these are the 3 objectives. And I know that I've never done this before. I didn't know where my time was going. And there's no way I can get on here and talk about any of this. This is really hard intelligently without knowing my come from. And that's to bring others along the way.
Mm. So impactful. And it's awesome to see you doing your 3-in-1 day and incorporating Zach in the things that you're doing, in your working out, in your podcast, in your business. It's amazing. So also you launched your podcast with us.
Yes.
How's that been going? And let us know when it is, where we can find you, all the goods.
First of all, you can find me at Win with Bren on Instagram. And we go live every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are there. It's about the length of a TED Talk. We're here to give you theory to application, and you can run with it.
Wow.
And when Darren challenged me to do this, I wasn't sure about it. And now we're about to do episode 53.
Wow. Episode 53 on the Bren Harris Win with Bren Warrior Mom podcast. That's so cool. And you've been doing some JV, some joint venture partnerships as well. Do you have one coming up here soon?
Yes, I have the infamous Janelle Villiers on the 21st.
Nice.
I'm excited. And that's probably my favorite aspect is interviewing people and learning their story, because we all have a story. And I want you to hear me now. Your story matters.
I muted myself. I got excited. So when you do that, because you always do this, well, it's kind of like how you get Zach's attention and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's natural, but you also do ASL.
I do. And when I was growing up, I always wanted to know ASL, and I always wanted to be healthy. And God blessed me with my son. And we work out together 3 days a week, weights and resistance. And we also do ASL. That's how he learns new words. And we have daily affirmations we do every morning on our drive. And you want me to share?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. We have, I am enough. I am smart. I use all my words wisely. I am strong. And this is a Zachanese word. I am beautiful, worthy, priceless, treasured, magnificent.
Wow. So you're literally doing sign language affirmations with your son.
Yes. And he can, when the body moves, the mind grooves. And when we do the ASL, he articulates the words. Now, we had experts telling us he would never be out of diapers. He would never be able to speak. He would never be able to go to school. It's all garbage. Who says? What's the workaround? So we're living proof you can do anything.
Wow. Does Zach have a favorite affirmation?
Yes, he likes valuable, valuable, and beautiful.
How do you do that one? Let's learn it. Who wants to learn Val Beautiful with us? How do we do that?
So just do your hands like this and go up.
Is that I? What's I? What's I? I is
Just Val.
okay.
Beautiful.
Val,
so and we do jokingly call this Zachanese because he's personalized.
We're learning Zachanese right now. Okay. I'm all for it.
So I am Val Beautiful. Yes.
I am Val Beautiful.
And then go back. Yeah. And we're combining valuable and beautiful, and we just call it Val-utiful.
Val-utiful. Tell Zach I told you to tell him that he is Val-utiful.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that is so cool. All right, well, Bren, we're gonna wrap up here. Seriously, you were at our event in January. The 2-day event. We had Jesse on. What's some of the things that you've implemented in your life from that event till now? And why are you coming to the next event again?
Oh, such great content, so rich. What I love is that I can take one thing from each session and apply it. For me, that was, hey, you have a story. It's time for the podcast. It's time for us to understand we have value and we have a story to tell to help other people. I hear you say this often, Darren. We don't build businesses to make money and use people. We build people to build businesses.
Yep.
And we use money to build people.
Yep.
It's so important to understand this is so much bigger than just being an entrepreneur and having a successful business. This is about walking in purpose and championing our calling.
Absolutely. And that's why we're on here right now, Bren, because there are people listening, whether you're watching live or the replay, that maybe life is going on. I mean, I honestly, Bren, I'm just telling you right now, I couldn't imagine finding out that my child was vaccine injured. We know that life happens and we find a way. You know, it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. And you've positioned that, your demeanor, your ability to continue to move forward, love your son for who he is, because he's a beautiful God-made child, but also still champion and be a warrior mom and help people win on a high level. So you are helping people do that in a lot of different ways. And I know that you're going to be launching a masterclass in April sometime as well. What's the date you have for that?
April 4th.
All right. So, and when that information is ready, where can people find you to get that?
At Win with Bren, and we'll have a link there for you.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to hearing all about the details. All right, Bren, we're going to wrap up here. We've got 4 valuable minutes. Guys, are you getting value? Let us know in the chat. Thank you so much for being on with us. And for me, this flew by. This hour flew. I can't believe we've been on here for an hour. So let me just ask you this, Bren, before people hop off here, if you can give us one just iconic, valuable nugget that people really get to choose to love to know before they hop off here with us, what would it be?
Your story matters. Your story matters. Hear me. Your story matters.
Now, why do you say that? What about our story matters? Why do you expound on that for us?
We are so entrenched in our lives, we don't realize the people we can help based on what we've come through or what we're in the middle of. We only need a 10% edge to bring others along with us. And we can't suffer in silence and listen to the establishment and believe the rhetoric. We get to choose to love to be who we're called to be and not shy away from that, regardless if people accept it or not, or receive it or not. And I'm so intent on letting everyone on the planet know that your story matters. Whatever that thing is, take 5 seconds. Whatever that thing is that feels like an obstacle in your life, that's your platform.
Wow. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, once people understand, right, that the storm that they've gone through literally is the blessing that someone's going to learn from you how to get through themselves.
Yes.
And more people get out there and do it, the more blessings that we'll have and be able to bless people like you've been able to do with us tonight. So, Bren, thank you so much. We're so grateful that you're able to be on. I can't wait to continue to learn Zachanese, learning from your podcast. And I just really quickly want to also shout out Be Iconic World and the Iconic Attraction Mastermind. I think we have over 20 people now that have launched podcasts, people launching masterclasses, earning incomes, teaching people their stories through their giftings. We've got authors, we've got warrior moms, we've got people in finance, we've got people in health, we've got people in encouragement, we've got people in image, and they're going out there sharing their giftings with others, and you are definitely one of those. So we appreciate you being on. Thank you for taking time away from Zach and your family, and we want to say God bless you, Icon, and keep doing your thing. All right,
thank you.
All right. Hey, y'all, let's give it up one more time for the warrior mom herself, Bren Harris. I thought that story was just impactful. Let us know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was tonight, what value that you got. Maybe you have some questions. Go find Bren at Win with Bren on her Instagram. And I'm going to be here next week as well, back Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, listen, y'all, we've got a 2-day event coming up April 8th and April 9th, where we're going to be teaching you how to turn your story into 6 and 7 figures. Even if you don't believe you have a story, even if you don't believe that there is value, let us show you how to do that. It's a free event. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. When you register, We'll have you do a one-on-one call with someone on our team, teaching you, making sure that the value in the event is going to be valuable for you. Register. All right, y'all. Don't wait until you're ready. You're never going to be ready if you wait. And I'm just telling you, it's next level time. So I want to pray us out. Just so grateful for you guys being on here. Seriously, 2024 is Your year. Y/OUR. It's your and our. It's Your year. The rest of this year, let's take things to the next level on an iconic level. So, Father God, thank you so much for this time, Lord. Thank you for your fruit and your favor. Thank you for the warrior mom. Thank you for Zach and this iconic story. Thank you for our lives, Lord. That's a big deal to have a child be injured through vaccination, but still, Brandon and her family are doing such an amazing job of just growing and stewarding their giftings and their blessings, Lord. I pray for people that are going through it right now, people that don't know you as well as people that do. Lord, we're asking for your favor in this year, in this day. We're so grateful, Lord. And we're sinners. We fall short, Lord. So we thank you for sending your only son to the cross for those sins and cleanse us. We ask that this event and this message be fruitful to, even if it's just one person get encouraged to move forward, to find a way, even if it's not with us, even if they don't come to the event, Lord, that they believe in the value that you've granted them one more time. They throw their heart over the bar one more time to find their calling, to find their gifting, to find their passion, and take it to the next level. We give you all this glory. In your holy name we pray, Lord. Amen. Hey, y'all, thanks so much again for being on BEICONIC Conversations. We'll be here next Tuesday, 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Put it in your calendar right now. Put a reminder. Tell Siri or whoever to make sure you remember. Go ahead and share this in your stories, and can't wait to see you all registered for the 2-day event. We'll see you next week. God bless you. We love you.